How does a single leader manage an empire? The secret lies in the art of delegation. Delegation, a cornerstone of organizational management, is at the heart of the seventh law of power. Robert Greene suggests that the mastery of delegation enables individuals to liberate their time, channel their focus on strategic thinking, and cultivate an aura of power. Delegating tasks to capable subordinates not only alleviates the workload, but also positions the delegator as a savvy leader adept at utilizing resources effectively. But there's more to it. By strategically assigning responsibilities, a powerful individual can weave a network of dependencies. Here's where it gets interesting. Subordinates may become reliant on their leader for guidance, resources, or opportunities, forming a power dynamic that can be manipulated to the leader's advantage. This strategic delegation aligns with the Machiavellian concept of appearing indispensable, while subtly ensuring that others are contributing to your success. So how does this work in practice? Consider a leader who delegates tasks smartly, assigning responsibilities based on the strengths and weaknesses of their team. This leader isn't just lightening their own workload, they're also creating a system where their team members rely on them for direction and support. This creates a power dynamic where the leader is seen as a crucial figure, even if they're not personally completing all the tasks. But why delegate? Well, delegation isn't just about lightening one's workload. It's about freeing up time and mental space for strategic thinking, for looking at the bigger picture. It's about positioning oneself as a strategic player, a chess master of sorts, moving pieces on the board while keeping an eye on the ultimate goal. At the end of the day, delegation is about power. The power to direct, the power to control, the power to influence. It's about creating a network of dependencies that secure your position and amplify your power. And most importantly, it's about understanding that you don't have to do everything yourself to be effective, successful, or powerful. Mastering the art of delegation is the first step towards consolidating power and establishing influence. With power comes responsibility, and with delegation comes the opportunity to take credit. Moving on from the power of delegation, let's delve into the art of taking credit. This is a delicate dance of claiming ownership of successful outcomes without stepping on the toes of your collaborators. It's a balancing act, a fine line to tread. Taking credit for the accomplishments orchestrated through delegation is a strategic play. It's not about hogging the limelight or stealing someone's thunder. Rather, it's about positioning yourself as the orchestrator, the conductor of the symphony that leads to success. It's about acknowledging the efforts of others, while subtly reminding them, and everyone else, that the success wouldn't have been possible without your leadership and vision. But why is taking credit so important? Well, it all boils down to perception. In the grand theater of power dynamics, perception is reality. When you take credit for positive outcomes, you enhance your image as a capable leader, as someone who gets things done. It builds your reputation and solidifies your position of authority. However, it's crucial to remember that taking credit is not a blunt instrument to be wielded without thought. It requires finesse. If you're too overt in claiming credit, you risk breeding resentment among your collaborators. This could jeopardize future teamwork and collaboration. So how do you strike the right balance? Here's the key. Credit is not a zero-sum game. When you take credit, it doesn't mean that others get none. It's about sharing the credit, but making sure that your role as the leader is recognized. It's about framing the narrative in a way that highlights your strategic input and leadership. It's about saying, "We did this," but reminding everyone that you were the guiding force behind the we. In the end, it's all about balance. Claim too much credit, and you risk alienating your team. Claim too little, and you risk diminishing your power. The art of taking credit lies in finding that sweet spot where your leadership is recognized, your team feels valued, and your power is enhanced. Taking credit, when done right, solidifies your position of power. And that, my friends, is the art of taking credit. The Sun King Louis XIV of France was a master of the seventh law of power. Let's delve into his reign to understand how. Louis XV, also known as the Sun King, was an exemplary figure who harnessed the power of strategic delegation. He was a shrewd leader, wisely assigning administrative tasks to his ministers, freeing up his time to focus on strategic thinking and decision-making. This strategic delegation not only lightened his workload, but also established a network of dependencies. His ministers became reliant on him for guidance, resources, and opportunities, thereby creating a power dynamic that Louis XIV manipulated to his advantage. But Louis XV didn't just stop at delegation. He was also an expert at claiming credit. He carefully presented himself as the ultimate authority behind every successful policy and initiative. He was not the one doing the groundwork, but he was the one who shone in the spotlight, basking in the glory of these successes. This is where the Sun King analogy fits perfectly. Just as the sun illuminates everything around it, Louis XIV positioned himself as the radiant source of all successful endeavors in his kingdom. However, it's crucial to understand that this was not a crude grab for credit. Louis XIV was subtle and dexterous in his approach. He maintained a delicate balance, ensuring that he didn't alienate his ministers or breed resentment among his subordinates. His credit claims were not overt, but rather presented in a way that reinforced his image as the indispensable leader whose wisdom and guidance led to the kingdom's prosperity. In essence, Louis XIV's reign was a strategic play of power dynamics. His astute understanding of delegation and credit management, coupled with his ability to exploit human psychology, is what solidified his image as the Sun King. It was a perfect illustration of the seventh law of power in action. Louis XIV's reign is a testament to the effectiveness of the seventh law of power. But power is a double-edged sword, and the seventh law of power is no exception. The strategic art of delegation and taking credit comes with its own potential pitfalls and ethical considerations. One of the major risks lies in over-delegation. Assigning too many tasks to others can lead to a sense of detachment and resentment among your team, which may eventually erode trust and cooperation. Similarly, claiming excess credit may be perceived as unfair, leading to a damaging environment of mistrust and hostility. The key is to maintain a balance. Delegation should be a tool for empowerment, not a means of shirking duties. Taking credit, on the other hand, should be a recognition of your strategic role, not a disregard for the contributions of others. Remember, the seventh law of power, like all power dynamics, requires a delicate dance of respect, fairness, and strategic thinking. The seventh law of power is a potent tool, but like all tools, it must be used with care and consideration.